కడాన ప్రసాదాల్లో కూడా నేను ఏదైతే చెప్పానో అలాంటి ముడి సరుకులు ఏవైతే వాడారో ఇవన్నీ నాసిరకం కాకుండా అపవిత్రమైన ముడి సరుకులను వాడారు.
టాపిక్ డైవర్ట్ చేసేందుకు జూలై 23వ తారీఖున ఇచ్చిన రిపోర్టును ఇప్పుడు బయటకు తీసి ఆ రిపోర్టును వక్రభాష్యం చేస్తూ ఆ రిపోర్ట్లో నుంచి ఈ మనిషి నోటికి వచ్చినట్టుగా ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టుగా అబద్ధాలు ఆడడం మొదలుపెట్టారు.
Prasad is very important for us, and having such news coming from a very high reputed person is really concerning.
Since last 5 years, there has been a decrease in the quality of the laddoos, the taste of the laddoos, the shelf life of the laddoos.
के मुख्य दोषी हैं उनको फांसी की सजा होनी चाहिए.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Friday edition of the News Hour. Viewers, let's in fact begin tonight's show with these images of a devotee holding the Tirupati Laddu in his hand. Look at the way he pays obeisance to the sacred prasadam. This image, many would say, is possibly the most defining image of what the Tirupati Prasadam really means to millions of Hindus, not just in the country, but across the globe. For them, this is the sacred blessing of their deity, Lord Venkateshwara, the symbol of ultimate purity. Now, just imagine what exactly must be going on the minds of all these believers. Over the last 48 hours, they are having to confront the most sacrilegious truth that for the longest time, under the Jagan Mohan Reddy government, the holy Tirupati Laddu was possibly made with ghee that got adulterated with animal fat, possibly with beef, fish oil, or even lard. How could this happen? Why did this happen? Was this deliberate? Was it callousness? Was it corruption, or was something even more insidious at play? These are questions that have to be asked. Now, armed with lab reports and tender documents, the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu and his party, that is the TDP, they are raining fire on their arch rival Jagan Mohan Reddy. The former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister and the YSRCP chief, on expected lines, vehemently denies all these charges. Instead, he is questioning the timing, the authenticity of the lab report that does confirm the presence of animal fat in the ghee that was used to make the Tirupati Prasad. Obviously, we have to ask who's right, who's wrong. Is someone lying here? Is it about the purity, the piousness, or only and only about petty politics, as these leaders believe?
కడాన ప్రసాదాల్లో కూడా నేను ఏదైతే చెప్పానో అలాంటి ముడి సరుకులు ఏవైతే వాడారో ఇవన్నీ నాసిరకం కాకుండా అపవిత్రమైన ముడి సరుకులను వాడారు. ఆ విషయమే ఈరోజు టీటీడీ కూడా ఎంక్వైరీ చేసినప్పుడు, టెస్టులు చేసినప్పుడు బయటపడిన వాస్తవాలు.
టాపిక్ డైవర్ట్ చేసేందుకు జూలై 23వ తారీఖున ఇచ్చిన రిపోర్టును ఇప్పుడు బయటకు తీసి ఆ రిపోర్టును వక్రభాష్యం చేస్తూ ఆ రిపోర్ట్లో నుంచి ఈ మనిషి నోటికి వచ్చినట్టుగా ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టుగా అబద్ధాలు ఆడడం మొదలుపెట్టాడు. ధర్మమేనా అని అడుగుతా ఉన్నా.
So right from Ayodhya to Tirupati, there is absolute shock. There is anger and disbelief in the entire Hindu community. People have hit the streets in protest against this power. Seers are demanding strictest action against the culprits. The central government has called for a detailed report on the Tirupati controversy. Rahul Gandhi says that this issue must be thoroughly looked into. He's also added that authorities across India must protect the sanctity of the religious places. Jagan Mohan Reddy's estranged sister and Congress's Vice Sharmila has written to the Home Minister Amit Shah seeking a CBI investigation. But tonight, remember, there is a larger call. This is a larger call to action. Amidst the entire debate around freeing Hindu temples, Chandrababu Naidu's deputy and the NDA leader Pawan Kalyan has raised the pitch for a Sanatan Dharm Raksha board. He says that it is time now to have a national board that will look into the matters of Sanatan Dharma. He also believes that this will be the very first step towards putting an end to this kind of desecration of Hindu sentiments. Do you agree with him? Think about it and listen in also to what we've heard from Pawan Kalyan.
So there should be, I feel, the reason I had proposed for Sanatana Dharma Parirakshana Board is essential. The reason was, when you leave it to the political groups, there is more such incidents are likely to happen.
मैंने चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी से बात की, उनसे मैंने डिटेल उसकी ली है और मैंने उनको कहा है कि आप तुरंत एक जो आपके पास अवेलेबल रिपोर्ट है वो रिपोर्ट आप मुझे भेज दें, पूरी तहकीकात करके उसके सारे पहलुओं को ध्यान में रख करके suitable action will be taken accordingly.
We take this responsibility with a lot of great pride and we ensure that we deliver on it. So definitely we're going to do an investigation. Whoever is behind this, we will not let them know. We will try them to the extent the law allows us to try them.
Chandrababu gariki dini severity munde telusa, munde teliste mari munde inquiry enduku veyaledu, prajalaku enduku cheppaledu. Minister of Home Affairs kuda oka letter rasam, CBI inquiry jaragali, endukante CBI inquiry jaragakapothe tappu evaru chesaru ani impartial ga oka inquiry jaragakapothe tappu evaru chesaru anna vishayam bayitiki raadu.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question that we are asking on the news hour tonight: who mixed adharm in the Tirupati prasadam?
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
So this is an issue that has only bothered all of us, but we haven't had any answers coming in. Only petty politics. Let's introduce our panel of guests. Tuhin Sinha is a national spokesperson of the BJP. Reddy ji is a national spokesperson of the TDP joining us. Radha Raman Das is the vice president and spokesperson of the ISKCON from Kolkata on the show tonight. Chundru Sundara Rama Sharma is a national spokesperson of the YSRCP. Vivek Srivastava is a political analyst. And Khalikur Rahmanji is also representing the Congress. He's completing our panel. Let's begin first of all by asking Radha Raman Das ji, before I get in the YSRCP and the TDP face-off here. Radha Ramanji, when you look at this entire story, when you see the kind of politics that has ensued, when you have seen a lot of people today wondering that who allowed this to happen, I mean, would it be fair to say that Hindus in the country are now being treated like second-class citizens?
Hare Krishna. Since yesterday, we have been receiving messages from devotees worldwide who are deeply shocked by the events unfolding in Tirupati. It's not just the concern of 1 billion Hindus who may have unknowingly honored Tirupati Laddus cooked in beef oil. Devotees are horrified that bhoga to Tirupati Balaji has also been prepared with beef, pig and fish oil. Hindu chant sacred verse, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanya Hitaya Cha. I offer my obeisances to Govind, the well-wisher of cows. And yet the Christian-led TTD board stopped sourcing ghee from the Nandini brand, calling it too expensive. Instead, they issued tender to find the cheapest ghee for preparing offerings to Tirupati Balaji. The very purpose of the Sevite is to offer the best bhoga to the Lord. But these officials are cost-cutting and are finding cheapest ingredients to cook bhog. This is not only offensive, but deeply disrespectful.
You are right.
Hindus are actually, we are very disturbed, you know, how the purpose of TTD board should be to facilitate best service for the Lord. But they are cutting cost and they are using the cheapest material. And what to speak, they have used beef oil. You know, actually, I don't have any word. There should be no business than devotees, Hindus managing their temples. Enough is enough. Free our Hindu temples. The Britishers in 1932, Tirupati Balaji was a mutt controlled by Hindus. But in 1932, Britishers, they formed this TTD board, and then they diverted the fund for to be used in British Army during World War II. And since then, we see what it like in same way they are looting the Hindus who are donating there for the seva of Tirupati Balaji, but that fund is being diverted for other purposes. Nobody
I
else
think
could
Radha
manage
Ramanji,
our
you've raised
temples.
a lot of important points. We second that concern, through the day, today and yesterday. Chandruji, we've received so many viewers' feedback, so many viewers across the globe, who are terrified, who are horrified that something like this was going on. And all that Jagan Mohan Reddy has to offer, Chandruji, is to say that this is petty politics, this is vendetta, he says, against me. An absolute silence on the seriousness of these allegations.
See, this is completely a political agenda of Mr. Nara Chandrababu Naidu of his 100 days failure of his governance. I wanted to say one thing. Mr. Ramandas has talked about the KMF Nandini. Sir, 2015 to 2019 also, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu was not given any contract to this KMF Nandini. Please note this point. Right? Number one. Number two, this report is almost, actually, this report is given by the NDDB on 23rd 2024, 2 months back. I wanted to ask directly one question. It is almost 2 months. Why Mr. Chandrababu Naidu has taken any action against anyone in this after seeing this report? Number two. Number three, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is telling that there is a cow or animal fat. When the AR firm, which is, they are telling we have banned that firm and all this, they told that they supplied 4 tankers in the month of June and July. They sent the samples of these containers, tankers, for NDDB. This report is released in Chandrababu Naidu's office, TDP office, not TTD office. Please note this point very important.
Chandruji, are you saying this is fake?
Please,
are you saying this is fake, sir?
I am telling you this is a fake. Let me finish, please. Please. You said that it is I am also a Hindu. I know. What is this one for me also? Please. Number two, we are all talking about the report. Please, if it is in your hand, you please see. NDDB report is given to whom you know? The email address of Mr. Srinivasa 1981@gmail.com. What about the TTD? What about Tirumala Devasthanam? Where is the GO?
What are you alluding? What is the charge, sir? What is the charge you're making?
See, this report is fabricated by Mr. Chandrababu Naidu just for his political.
You are saying this is a report fabricated by Chandrababu Naidu. You say this is a fake report. It's all propaganda. I think I must get in Deepak Reddy ji, who represents a TDP, to quickly respond to this.
Ma'am, let me tell you one thing very clearly. I don't think the national media is much used to this YCP's lies. They have an art of lying. So they have been doing this for the last 5 years. That is the reason the people of Andhra Pradesh have not even given them the opposition status. Let us look at the facts. Today, the executive officer has come out with all the details and he's explained clearly how did this whole thing start. When he took charge, Chandrababu Naidu ji called him and said, there are a lot of complaints which we are getting. I would like you to look at the authenticity of the complaints and maintain the sanctity of the temple. So that's when they started going into the complaints. And they met pilgrims. Pilgrims were complaining about the quality of the laddu. Then they met the people who are making the laddus. They said they were not very happy with the ingredients. Then an expert committee was put. They found these details. And these 4 trucks of samples, what they were taken, they didn't even look like butter. They look like oil. That is what the EO has clearly said. That is where the suspicion has come in. And in the previous TDP government, there was a full-fledged laboratory facility available in TTD, which was scaled down by these people. Okay. And there were a couple of things I need to put it forward so that a clearer picture comes. Look at this. This is a practicing Christian who was made the board member, and the chairman, who was a cousin of Jagan Mohan Reddy. His daughter was married in Christian tradition and he was made the chairman. And look at this. This is a halal certificate issued by a UP Hathras area company which was shortlisted and which has supplied the ghee. You mean to say somebody from 100 kilometers from Karnataka cannot give a competitive rate, and somebody from Hathras can send that material, and that to a halal certified company? And there are a couple of other things what I would like to show. Look at this. photo. Jagan Mohan Reddy smelling the prasadam which was given to him when he went to Tirupati. And worst of all, if you see this, the country is going to be shocked. This is the chairman, the former chairman of TTD, who is the uncle of Jagan Mohan Reddy. Look at this.
Talk about the issue.
You know what they are saying, ma'am? You'll be shocked. Right in front of the feet. Hang on a minute. One minute. Let me complete, please.
Are you making a direct charge that
please do not
Jagan has all in all been aware of all this? He's an equal complicit in this? Is that the allegation?
Absolutely. 6 years ago, when TDP government was in power, the rate what was being given was 478 rupees a kg. So after 5 to 6 years, these people have given at 319 rupees. And the KMFF Federation chief has told not now 5 years ago, if somebody gives below than this price, it will be adulterated because it is economically not possible. It was caution. In spite of that, these people have not bothered.
Okay,
this is
these
total
are grave
disregard
charges,
for the sentiments of Hindus,
before I get
carelessness
and Vivek
recklessness.
into the conversation. Chandruji, let's quickly, hear your response to these charges directly at Jagan Mohan Reddy.
You see, Mr. Deepak Reddy, he's showing some photographs and all this, which is nowhere connected. And he's telling that Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy is a Christian. See, what he is talking, I don't understand. He is elected constitutionally. Constitutionally is elected. Now I am going to show you one photograph. Please see. Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is this one, which is, see the back photo. He is the Buddha statue. That means he is a Buddhist. I am alleging that Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is a Buddhist.
You should not be trivializing the entire issue. 1 second, sir. When there is a report in the public domain, you say that report is fake. When there are images that Mr. Reddy is putting out in the public domain, you say that does not establish anything. Now, forget the politics of this, Chandruji. There are millions of viewers who are looking at this story. They are aghast. Why was the Hindu faith allowed to be walked over? Why did you trample the Hindu faith? That is a direct charge, Chandruji, at you. Would you be able to respond to that?
See, first I wanted to say one word. He raised the Christianity, the religious part. So I am telling Mr. Chandrababu Naidu doesn't have any respect on Hinduism. That is the reason he is raising all these issues. Because when he was a chief minister in 2018 to 19, he spent 4 crores for funds from TTD to conduct a Dharma Porata Diksha in New Delhi.
But Chandruji, this story is not about Chandrababu Naidu. It's about millions of devotees and their faith.
Who has raised this issue? Sir, billions of this one, he only fabricated. He wanted some religious, this one. He wanted to defame this Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam.
You are saying it is Chandrababu Naidu responsible for insulting Hindus. Let me get Tuhin now to respond to this. Tuhin, can we allow this to happen? You know, in the country where we've seen so much of Sanatan hatred, so much of Sanatan slander by parties that have done business with the Congress and elsewhere, you know, who've said that Sanatan is much like dengue and malaria, Tuhin, we remained quiet. We've only outraged. But can we just normalize this kind of a behavior?
Well, good evening. Good evening, Deepti. Good evening, everybody. What we have witnessed at Tirupati is, you know, an assault on our civilizational ethos. You know, it's a heinous crime against millions and millions of Hindus who throng to the temple every year. But I just want to put certain incriminating facts on record, and that would make it very clear as to who is responsible. You know, the 2 people who were appointed, the chief of the head of TTD Temple Trust by Jagan Reddy, who were they? YC Suppu Reddy, who was his uncle, and Karunakar Reddy, who's a practicing Christian, and whose daughter had a very lavish Christian ceremony wedding. So the very fact that you trust non-Hindus with such, important religious responsibilities, I think is a strict no. Please don't barge in.
Please listen to others and their viewpoints also. You know, that is a democracy. Please let Tuhin complete his point.
Behave like an urban Naxal on the show.
I have only one.
You know, I will give you a similar parallel, Deepti.
Please relax. Please relax. Listen to what others have to say. Then you can counter them. Please.
Was appointed.
Yes, Tuhin.
No, can you tame these urban Naxals, please? This is not the way a proper debate can take place. I'm giving you a parallel. Somebody called Azam Khan, who's now in jail, was given charge of the Kumbh Mela. What happened? He presided over the worst stampede. So, only people who are strictly aligned with the religious sentiments need to be given this responsibility. More importantly, look at how Jagan Reddy constantly flouted norms. He had an 81-member trust, which is unprecedented in the temple history, out of which 52 were special invitees. How was that possible? By bringing in an ordinance to amend the Endowment Act of 1987. And out of these 52 special invitees, 14 had criminal backgrounds whose appointment was set aside by the court due to a PIL which was brought out against their appointment. So this is how, the temple trust was used to barter political favors. And
but
I think
then why have we not acted? Why has there been not a punishment for all these offences like you're talking about? I mean, we've allowed things to escalate to this level. And look at what Rahul Gandhi has said. He's taken to the social media, Khalikur Rahmanji. He takes a long time to respond to what is going on. Then he says the reports about the defilement of the prasad at the Sri Venkateswara temple in Tirupati are disturbing. Lord Balaji, he says, is a revered deity for millions of devotees in India and across the world. This issue will hurt every devotee and needs to be thoroughly looked into. And Tuhin, he says, authorities across India have to protect the sanctity of our religious spaces, Tuhin. That is what he says.
Absolutely. First of all, I would like to tell you that I am, in fact, very much shocked. And it is very unfortunate. I am aghast at the news, what I have heard, especially about the adulteration in the laddoos of the Tirupati, because that is a prasadam. Even when we get the prasadam, we in fact take it with a lot of respect and but unfortunately, Mr. Jagan Reddy seemed to have made the whole thing a mockery, actually, which is very unfortunate. And we demand a thorough investigation, a thorough probe into this. And another thing which I want to highlight is where were the labs in the TTD? Were there not any labs which were doing the lab testing of these laddoos? Because even as per the Food Security Act, because whatever the laddoos are there or whatever the eatery is there, that has to go through the lab process. And another thing which is really alarming is that this report, in fact, was received by the government of Andhra Pradesh in July. And then August and September, these 2.5 months, what was the government of Andhra Pradesh doing? Why was the government of Andhra Pradesh sleeping on this report?
You can't run with the hare, hunt with the hound. Now you tell me who according to you is guilty. Do you believe this report? You don't believe this report?
No, this has come from the National Laboratory and we believe this report. And based on this report, in fact, the government of Andhra Pradesh should initiate an inquiry and hand over this case to the CBI.
Okay, you also want a CBI inquiry into this, Vivek?
Yes.
Would you support that demand? There should be a Central Bureau of Investigation inquiry into this?
No, please listen to me. First of all, I'm not a YSR supporter as such. I have nothing to do with the party. I'm speaking from a very neutral perspective. I personally feel that, first of all, everybody is trying to rush the gun and the report is still not complete. If you have read the report, and I was forwarded the report 2 days back by your channel itself when the report came out, it is very clearly written the word suspected, which means the adulteration of the ghee is there, but the exact constituents still have not been ascertained with 100% guarantee. So everybody is talking beef mil gaya, usme tallow mil gaya, usme lard mil gaya, but actually it is not complete, and that is why with maturity the central government has forwarded it out for a detailed analysis. So let us not start simply saying that something wrong has happened.
So Vivek, you don't think that there are reasons for us to be outraged? Reasons for a lot of Hindus across the globe to feel cheated? You don't think so?
I mean, if finally after the second test that is going to be done, it comes out that it was palm oil or it was something else and it was not actually beef or lard or something else, I mean, it's going to be a different story. Because every ghee you buy from any departmental store near our house is also contaminated, but not with beef or lard. It could be simple palm oil. It could be, something else, some coconut oil, some peanut oil. And that is what is happening.
No,
so,
Vivek,
and
Vivek,
now my second question.
This is normalcy of the fact, Tuhin, that because it's the Hindus, we can continue to abuse the Hindus. Hindus are very tolerant. They will always remain quiet. They will only feel outraged, and that's it, Tuhin.
No. The factory is in Hathras, and Hathras is in UP.
So?
Who is responsible for testing the material there?
So who are you blaming?
योगी आदित्यनाथ की सरकार कहाँ थी?
Who are you blaming?
अगर वहाँ पे beef tallow डल रहा था, what was Yogi Adityanath doing? Sleeping?
Imagine.
What was happening in that factory? In Hathras, which is in UP. The state government is responsible. It comes under UPSIDC.
He says, forget the YSRCP. It is Yogi Adityanath responsible for this.
I think the left parties. No, I mean, these people, since, CPIM are professed atheists, they should keep away from religious discussions. Instead of vitiating the atmosphere with their assumptions, they should keep away from religious decisions, since they are self-proclaimed atheists, should stay away from these discussions because they should understand the gravity of the situation.
There was beef and lard being mixed in ghee.
Deepti, when you source ghee from all and sundry without verifying the quality, which is what has happened from August 1, 2023. This was bound to happen. And the heads of the TTD need to take responsibility. And that only happens when you are not, religiously aligned with that entire process.
I think, Tuhin, there needs to be that red line. Like they say, there needs to be a Lakshman Rekha, that this much, not anymore. And we really hope and pray that there is a thorough investigation and there is action against those responsible for what of time. But gentlemen, we'll continue to track that story. I thank all of you for joining us on top of this news.